He took that in the fourth
that's an
quarter.
in and out.
In and out. That was an in and out. That was a fourth quarter.
And a lot of the things
three-point
you're
shot.
seeing as we look at these highlights are decision-making, right?
iron.
Do you shoot the three then? Do you make a pass? That is textbook of what guys learn in summer league. You've never been in these situations before, so you need to learn the decision-making process.
It's
and we're already
it's
seeing
being hesitant. When you move from one level to the next, you don't understand. First of all, this speed in summer league is faster than any high school or college.
Absolutely.
It's faster. Things are
Way
happening faster.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine, and this Sacramento team wasn't even the...
It was a split squad.
Yeah, it was a split squad.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
imagine when he moves from this to the next level, how much faster it's going to be from the training camp to the preseason. And then from the preseason to the regular games, he has to get adjusted to these things. And I think over time, it'll happen. It's the same way in football. When you come from college and go to the pros, it's like you sitting around on the 405 freeway, and it's not a dead stop. It's just wide open at 2 a.m. in the morning. And that's kind of what
real,
it is.
but-
It's just shh, and he's got to get used to it.
Yeah. Okay, so here's what he's going to be up against. And anybody who watched this game will tell you that the player who caught their eye was Maxwell Lewis, who was their second-round pick 1 year ago. He was the 40th overall pick to Bronny's 55th overall pick. Maxwell Lewis is 6'7" out of Pepperdine, and he played 34 games with the Lakers last year, but only averaged 3 minutes a game. And I don't even remember because it was all garbage time. But he did play for the G League team last year. What do they call the South Bay Lakers? Yeah. And he averaged 15, 5 rebounds and 2 assists, shot 36% from three. He's competition for Bronny in that he looked pretty good. He made 4 or 5 plays where I said, oh, that was pretty explosively athletic. He's kind of somewhere between a wing and a small forward, but he can play. So again, if you're talking about minutes, when we finally start getting to the real games, will Maxwell Lewis be on the big Lakers squad, or will he be sent back to South Bay? And if he's on the squad, will he start competing with Bronny for a few minutes here or there? Because he's pretty good. Again, it's hard to judge because it's the split squad from Sacramento, but he looked pretty good to me, and because he did play 34 games last year, I think they like him.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean, look, that game experience is huge, right?
It's
and just
huge.
living the NBA lifestyle and going from place to place and all of the other stuff that you have to learn to deal with when you are a pro for the first time.
Well, he has some great mentors to teach him that.
Well, that's what I mean, is that competing for a spot on the roster, competing for minutes, that is the definition of being a pro player. And I'm sure LeBron James Jr. is looking forward to that. Bronny knows what he has to earn his keep. And that has been one of the most impressive things about him through this entire process. High school, when he had a huge spotlight under him, college, when he had a huge spotlight on him, that he knows that people are going to say, you just got this because of nepotism, you just got this because of your dad, and that he has to earn his keep. And he has been such a hard worker, despite some obstacles, that I don't think he has a problem with fighting for minutes off the bench with other guys. That's what he's here for.
Okay, so the irony yesterday, when I realized I turn on the game early and I'm like, where's Bronny? And then I read, oh, he's got some swelling in his knee. And I'm thinking of his father. The most amazing thing about LeBron...
Nothing was ever wrong with LeBron.
Nothing. Listen, Keyshawn, how many guys did you play with? Everybody has a knee something, right? So I'm thinking of LeBron. What are we up to now? We'll be 22 years,
22.
Going into 22. So I looked up last night. He's played 68,000, let's say 500 minutes in both regular and playoff games. 68,000.
Crazy.
It's ridiculous to go that long and to play at the level he plays at the death-defying heights that he plays at, because he will attack the basket. How many times does LeBron get hit midair and go down? How many times are your knees at risk? To my knowledge, reported, for what's been reported, maybe you've heard something behind the scenes, but I have never heard a peep about LeBron having any knee issues. He's had ankles, we know that, but knees, he hasn't had any shoulders, he hasn't had any Achilles. I'm not going to wood, I didn't like to talk about it.
A little hamstring.
He's had the pulls, no, I got that. But everybody has knees. They just, if you're going to play over 10 years, something's going to go wrong with your knee. I go back to Howard Cosell used to say, the knee, it's always the knee. Well, it is. It's always the knee. And so father has the greatest pair of knees in the history of professional basketball. And son now has some swelling after his first summer league game. And I'm like, what happened?
That could be an old injury from high school or college. And it could be something floating around in there that they need to figure out what it is.
We can say it, and I know everyone on the show has said it 100 times. Bronny is not LeBron James. He is not going to be LeBron in terms of the points he scores in the NBA. He's not going to be LeBron James. Even in terms of the attention, we obviously live in an era where there's so much more media, even than when LeBron first played. And you know, Bronny is getting all of this attention as LeBron's son. You have to go back and remember the attention that LeBron got when he debuted. I was at his debut game. I was at a couple of his final games in high school. It was bananas.
But he scored 25 points at Sacramento that night.
He did.
25 points.
He did. And
was he still 18, I think, or was he
18, 19?
Yeah.
19, maybe he's 19.
Look, when he played his first summer league game, there were people hiding under cars in the players' parking lot so they could get a glimpse at him. I mean, there are a lot of parked cars. There are a lot of things that are going to go back and forth in terms of comparisons over this first rookie year and, frankly, for his entire NBA career. He is not going to be LeBron James. Health, points, way he plays, any of that kind of stuff. However, he does have LeBron James resources. And whether it's dealing with a wonky knee, despite, you know, LeBron's had aches and pains over the years, for sure, or whether it's dealing with all this attention, he has one of the best resources of all time at home to pick each other's brains, to be able to say, Dad, have you been in this situation?
Absolutely.
That sort of thing. That is another huge advantage he has going into his rookie year. And while there are some disadvantages of being LeBron's son in the NBA and that you're getting fans chanting for you, which is a good thing until it causes problems inside the locker room or on the bench or for JJ. However, to deal with all of the extra attention and scrutiny, he's got a lot of advantages too, and I expect him to employ those.
Yeah. I'm with you. I don't care about 2 for 9. I don't really care about any of the numbers going forward through the summer league games, but I do care about what my eyes tell me. You know, I just want to see, you know, you kind of step away from it and you say, yeah, I see this and I see that, you know, where you start to get a grip on what is he? How does he handle himself? He has a lot of his dad's mannerisms.
He really does.
He walks like his dad with the toes pointed out.
Hands on hips.
You know, hands on hips.
Right,
he did that. Yep, he did. There were a lot of things where I said, man, he looks like his dad. He carries himself LeBron-esque.
Yes.
And to your point, that's all great, but he's 6'1.5" and his dad's 6'9". So now you have to start factoring in. You want him to look like his dad, but he can't play like his dad at all.
It's never going to happen.
So
What he can do, though, Skip, you said the eyes, right?
Yep.
My eyes, and I feel I'm an instant evaluator in every sport. I can look at a dude and tell you, oh,
yeah,
he
you
can play.
do. No, but
He
that's
can play.
Yeah.
I mean, he can play basketball.
okay. All right.
He's not ever going to be his dad, nor does he want to be his dad. You know how many people want to be his dad? He don't want to be his dad. He wants to be his own self.
Sure.
There's kids out here all over the world wishing they could be LeBron James. You can't duplicate that. You can't duplicate Michael Jordan. There's certain athletes that's just so far out in the universe, there's nothing you can do. And I know the comparison's gonna always come up because that's his last name, is James. He's not gonna all of a sudden wake up one day and be 6'6". It's just not gonna happen.
No,
He's gonna be a 6'1",
yeah,
3-and-D type guy
Yep.
that's gonna get quality minutes over time in the NBA. And that's what he's going to be.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I understand.
At all. People got to understand, man, there's nothing wrong with that.
But I don't think
it's a great career.
Yeah, I don't think the internet trolls are looking for him to be LeBron James. They're looking at, can he play 15 minutes for the Lakers? It's like Laker Nation is saying, can he play 15 minutes?
No
Skip.
number 55 pick is walking in to play 15 minutes as a starter on an NBA team that has 2 top 10 players on it.
I think this one has a chance to play some minutes
but
for this
not
team.
At the beginning, this
Yeah,
was his first summer league game.
he'll get some minutes, you know, working through as he develops. But I do think, you know, I've gone back and forth over the last week about whether or not he's going to spend significant time in the G League.
I think that's not happening.
I think he's going to play.
He can go up and down.
I think he's going to play in the G League because one thing he's got to do, he's got to get minutes. It's just like
Man,
it's just
I
like
think they're
playing.
making it clear he's not going to play in the G League.
No, they're not. Just because he signed an NBA contract, he can still go
He can
down.
still go,
No,
but there's
he can.
rules. I mean, there's rules about how many times and
Yeah.
for how many games and all of that stuff. But yes, he can go. It's not
Because
like
think
he's
about it
never
this
gonna
way,
go down.
Skip. If the G League, I don't know the dates and stuff, but if they play it on a Monday and the Lakers play it on a Wednesday and the G League played again on a Thursday, they would bring him up to play with them on that Wednesday, and he can go back down on Thursday and play. They can play that game all day long.
Okay, I hear you, but if I know his father will not want him to play G League
But he's
games.
got to get minutes. He can't sit on the end of the bench and just rock. He's got to play. He's got to run up and down the floor. And in the NBA, as Rachel knows, they don't practice scrimmaging every single game.
No.
So he's
Less
got
and less.
to get some
Yeah.
real time in action.
Yeah.
And LeBron wants his son to develop.
Sure.
He is
Yeah.
an incredibly intelligent,
Yeah.
intelligently
Get it
incredible,
right.
intelligently incredible basketball mind, and he knows that what Bronny needs after playing
gotta get some
two-thirds of the
minutes.
season in
Yeah.
college for 1 year needs development. So
I'd
I don't
say.
think LeBron is going to throw a fit if they want to send Bronny to the G League briefly. I don't see that. I think that he wants his son to develop into a long-game, long-term NBA player.
Okay. Speaking of LeBron, speaking of those Lakers, the big league team, how did they just fail to sign Clay and DeMar DeRozan? That's next.